The Redeemer has risen.
Hey, what's up guys, Masleaf here, coming back to do another video commentary. That's right, it's going to be a video commentary. And today I'm going to be casting the Ladder Wars that was held yesterday as of the date of this video being released. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into this, shall we? And it's going to be between a BikeRush owns and Technique, and spawning up here in the top left we can see Technique playing as the green black hand, one can only assume, and scrolling over to the bottom right here we can see BikeRush owns, who has been dealt a GDI faction of some sort. What did he get? I went into this with no knowledge of their faction. He's going to be Zocom actually, wow. So BikeRush, he must have gone random. I don't want to open the player status screen because that might give away who won the series, because usually the uploader, if one guy uploads the series and they both pick random, then the faction will show for the person who uploaded the replay. But yeah, I doubt that Technique picked Black Hand, even though he gets insanely lucky and gets Black Hand like every, well, I'd say one out of 3 games he gets a nod faction. So yeah, Technique, he does have a bit of luck, come to think of it, when it comes to random. But he's going to be over here, he's going to capture his Tiberium spikes, likewise for BikeRush owns. BikeRush, he's going to have to scout with probably a Pitbull first. I doubt that Technique picked random. Yeah, this is evidence of that. He's sending 3 scouts straight through the guts, which is probably the best bet, honestly, versus Black Hand, because Cabals are just so powerful. You can overrun a single Cabal, drafted that is, with 2 Rifleman squads. He's opting to spread them out here. He could have easily grouped them together and killed that Cabal and also got a scout off, but I guess he would have also lost the scouts potentially to a Shredder turret, because, you know, Shredder turrets do have that splash damage. Anyway, Technique's going to get a nice scout into BikeRush's base. Now BikeRush is going to be at a disadvantage, I'd say, on this map, because artillery on this map does play a role. For example, if Technique decides to wait for BikeRush to make the first move in expanding, he could see that BikeRush, for example, is coming to this field and build a bunch of Spectres and beam cannons, and BikeRush would be powerless to stop that because he doesn't have artillery of his own. He does have Firehawks, I guess, to act as a sort of artillery, but it's not nearly as good as Spectres in that situation. So it's going to be awkward for the Zocom player. Multi-MCV, as a rule of thumb, for nod players is what really works against Zocom because of no artillery. Tib Core, SAM turrets are so powerful. And needless to say, the particle beam turrets are good versus Pitbull spam and APCs and such. Anyway, back onto this game. Looks like neither side have really gone for a rush. I didn't expect Zocom to do a rush here. I was surprised that Technique didn't do a rush. He's just going to play it cool. He's going to just eco. Usually you expect 2 ore factories out of Technique. Is he going to go 2 ore factories or just refinery? Okay, going to drop that third refinery. I guess from experience he knows that he probably won't make it work versus BikeRush. BikeRush has predicted that Technique could go for the 2 ore factories. This is why I think he went for 2 ore factories of his own, because 2 ore factory Pitbull easily can counter 2 ore factory bike buggy. Anyway, Pitbull's gonna be scared away by these buggies and infantry. No problem for Technique holding that back. The damage wasn't dealt for BikeRush. He's gonna be pushed back here. But yeah, if you want to make Pitbulls work versus bike buggy, a lot of players don't spread the bike buggy out, or more specifically the Pitbulls. So the bikes just end up splash damaging all the Pitbulls down, which shouldn't happen versus a good player who uses the line formation to spread out their Pitbulls versus that. But yeah, buggies out in the field now. Those are going to be useful in the late game versus hammerheads, which, I mean, it's Zocom, so I can imagine Technique is going to expect that. He knows he's up against Zocom here, so he's just going to probably go for a quick tier 3 to get that Tib Core upgrade online. Neither side, besides BikeRush, going for the blue Tiberium field right now. Bike buggy continuing to be produced right now for Technique. Is he go for 2 ore factories or for that quick tier 3? Meanwhile, BikeRush down here, he is a little behind because he went for the 2 ore factories. Remember, he didn't get any damage done. He's losing Pitbulls now. He's not going to find a gap in the base. I guess there was somewhat of a gap there for Technique, I mean for Bike, but yeah, look at the bike buggy there for Technique. I think BikeRush wants to get out of there now, otherwise he will get overrun. He will lose all of his Pitbulls if Technique chases. And remember, bike buggy are considerably faster. He's going to come down here. He's going to find no harvester. If he was maybe a second or two earlier, he could have sniped that harvester, which is going to give bike a nice load of blue Tiberium. If I recall correctly, it's actually $2,800 for a full load of blue Tiberium. Anyway, a nice bit of pressure here going to be done for Technique. Selling off the watchtower, which is nice, but that will grant him the rifle squad. If you don't sell, you won't get a rifle squad, so yeah, that's something that you should definitely put into practice. Not sure if Scrin get a buzzer when they... I guess you could sell buzzer huts before they die, but as Scrin as well. Not sure how worth it that would be, honestly. Anyway, onto this game. Technique gonna do a line formation with his bike buggy because that will ensure that he doesn't get splashed down by the pit bulls. Technique is very experienced in that regard. He knows when to do that. Anyway, as I predicted in the start, Technique going with the multi-MCV, immediately going for that Tib core upgrade, one can assume. And meanwhile, BikeRush here, reckon his best bet in this game would have to be going for the Marv and multi-MCV, because if you can bait your opponent into thinking that you're going for hammerheads and you don't go hammerheads, you go multi-MCV instead, your opponent's going to have a bunch of bike buggy. Sure, they're going to be upgraded with a Tib core, which is no laughing matter, but at least you can defend it with sonic emitters. And yeah, you might have more of a chance of beating the multi-MCV with your own multi-MCV if you get the Marv out as well. That Zoko Marv, extremely powerful. Hammerheads out now on the field. Is BikeRush going to continue with the hammerhead spam? Tib core turret's going to be soon online. Yeah, he's upgrading that right now. I think BikeRush should actually postpone hammerhead production. No, he may be going for the ceramic armor upgrade. But yeah, Obelisk down for Technique as well as a Redeemer facility. BikeRush is in a lot of trouble. He hasn't got an expansion here. Where is his MCV? He's going Marav tanks now. That is not a good idea. I do firmly believe that to counter multi-MCV as Zocom or GDI, you have to do the exact same. In fact, if you go multi-MCV as GDI versus Blackhand multi-MCV, that's just going to completely wreck Blackhand's multi-MCV, just because you get Juggernauts, which are super powerful. And also Sonic Emitters are not only good versus vehicles, but versus infantry, which Blackhand tends to make a lot of. So yeah, that's definitely something to consider. Anyway, a scout for Technique potentially for one clicks, but no, looks like Technique... He's got a lot of eco right now. He's so far ahead in this game. It's because that 2-off factories that BikeRush done early on didn't pay off at all. And yeah, he's gonna sell off that, right? I'm not sure if he should have sold that off. He's got no off factories. He's got no off factories right now. So what is he planning? He needs bike buggy. He needs it right now. I mean, if he makes a bunch of bike buggy and then decoys them up versus these Preds, he's going to completely smash them. Did you just sell a SAM turret? No, that was a Shredder turret. I thought for a moment there that he had a SAM turret there and he sold it immediately. One hammerhead gets sniped. That Tib core so powerful. Marv is out right now. Technique, is he going for that infantry? Yes, he is. He's just getting the upgrade as well. No blue flame this game. In fact, I did record a series versus Technique where he did use the blue flame on me. So if BikeRush continues to go for GDIs in this series, in fact, I expect him to pick Blackhand in the next game, actually, if he does lose this game. It's looking increasingly like BikeRush losing this game because Technique's going for that infantry and BikeRush has nothing to really stop it besides a few hammerheads, but those can be countered easily with the bike buggy. And the orbital strike coming in here. He's going to run straight into it with the bike buggy as well. That is not good. And a quad Zone Raider Marv, it is temporarily affected by Rage, and is he going to miss this? He's actually going to hit the Marv with the Marv is going to go in there. He should really move the Marv in though, so all of its hard points are in range, and the Redeemer will escape here. It looks like MCV is on the front line right now. And yeah, Harvester idle, but yeah, as long as he can push this Marv back. He has no EMP, I don't think. He didn't get the EMP cores upgrade. He had ages to get it, I think. Does he have it? No, he didn't. For some reason, he forgot that. But yeah, the Marv, it is not affected by Rage, so it can be microed right now. The Raider Buggy's Technique realizing just then that he doesn't have the EMP coils. He's going to focus down this Obelisk when his real attention should be trying to kill this Redeemer, which is currently chewing up all of his Mammoth tanks. And that is really bad. And yeah, this is just going to get overrun now. The Marv is going to get overrun, and I think that's going to be GG. So I think Technique's going to take this first game. I can only assume BikeRush is going to call the GG soon. He does have a veteran Marv, but yeah, against all this infantry, man, I don't think so. That's not enough. And it's kind of annoying how the 4 hard points of the Zoko Marv are not have the same range as the main turret. But yeah, with the Marv down, I expect BikeRush to go down with it. And yeah, he's going to call the GG. That is 1-0 in favor to Technique. And yeah, a pretty concise, decisive win there for Technique. Going with GDI, BikeRush not getting lucky with the random, definitely not there. So yeah, 1-0 to Technique. We're going to the next game, so yeah, stay tuned. Alright guys, we're on game number 2 now, and that brings us to the map Tournament Decision, which is BikeRush's pick because he lost. He picked this map versus me in that last tournament as well when I lost. In fact, yeah, when I beat him in that game. So yeah, he picked this, so he seems quite comfortable on this map. Anyway, on the bottom left here, we can see Technique, who is retaining his black hand, and up in the top right hand side here, we can see BikeRush, who has gone with a GDI faction once again. Don't tell me he picked random and got Zocom again. No, he actually picked GDI this time. Okay then, so GDI versus Black Hand, very good faction honestly on this map, especially when you get the Juggernauts in this part of the base here. Or the map, it's really hard to dispose of Juggernauts. Though if you go Spectres and plant them here, the Juggernauts that are like camping your field at this point cannot range the Spectres that are here. So that's one thing that used to be part of the meta back in the day when it was just DA maps. People used to play this map all the time, the Tournament Decision, and you know, those strategies came to light. Spectres versus Juggernauts in this map were just so OP. Rarely is that the case though, but on this map it was. Anyway, is this engineer going to get sniped? It looks like BikeRush has his sights set on it. Is he going to grab it though? He's gonna... Technique's gonna go around the other side of the spike though, and... oh, that was so close. That Tiberium refinery spike bug should have been fixed long ago. CGF did attempt to fix it. Whoa! Enough of that though, because we have a rush here for BikeRush. It's going to be an Orca, and Technique is going to fall straight into it with a Reckoner, it seems like. Don't tell me this is an all-in for BikeRush. It's definitely not worth going all-in, I think, versus Black Hand. It's easily stopped. And if he can dispose of the Reckoner, that's good and all, but it's not killing his harvesters, and Technique has currently 2 versus BikeRush's 1. So he needs these Orcas to pay off immensely right now. And he's going for those flame tanks. Where's Technique going with his MCV? Is he going up here? Seriously? Maybe he's got plans to take BikeRush's Tiberium Spike while he's training harvesters. I mean, it is worth it to an extent. Anyway, BikeRush is going to see one flame tank here. If he is good, he will know that there is one more on the map right now. Can he identify that that is not the first flame tank out? He does have a scout here, so he can see the flame tank, which is coming in from the bottom. And here comes the Orcas right now. He's going to go straight for the harvesters, but can this flame tank actually punish him, though? Oh, I don't know if he overkilled one of the harvesters. You should have got 3 of them. I don't know actually, was that a mistake? Yeah, that should have easily been 3 dead harvesters. Maybe BikeRush getting a bit panicky there. That should have been easily 3 dead harvesters. One of them harvesters does remain. 2 flame tanks though out on the map. He's not going for the spike. I think that was the safer bet right there, to be honest. Yeah, he could have got the spike, so wasted opportunity there by Technique. I guess he thought that BikeRush couldn't have recovered this quickly. Now Technique has to make a bunch of buggies which don't exactly pose enormous threat to Orcas. And he's sending the Orcas out now to try and kill the Tiberium Spike. Nice micro and control for BikeRush. He will be able to grab this flame tank before it destroys the Tiberium Spike. Anyway, Orca's coming in right now. Can he micro the heart? This is definitely not going to die. Oh, it is going to die. For some reason, Technique didn't get repairs on that harvester. And looking... excellent defense here by BikeRush. Where's his MCV? Don't tell me he sold it. Did he really sell his MCV? He actually sold his MCV, unless he moved it somewhere else. I doubt that he did sell it. Was he really starved for funds at that point? Looks like Technique has also sold his MCV as well. Both sides are actually even due to that. Maybe BikeRush has a small edge because he does have a couple Predator tanks. There's only a handful of buggies right now on the field for Technique as far as scouting potential. Orca's out on the field for BikeRush. That's a huge deal right now. He needs to be sending his buggies on a waypoint around his base just so he can reveal the entire base, so he can actually move his army into position for these Orcas. He's going to see the Orcas now, I think, but yeah, this is one dead harvester, and I don't know, did he just spread his fire? Yes, he did. Wow, that could have been handled a lot better for BikeRush. He could have easily got those 2 harvesters. I don't think he's splitting his fire as best as he could in these games. I think he's just a bit nervous. Anyway, no infantry upgrade online for Technique. Obviously, he doesn't have the ability to get it because he did sell his MCV, remember. His engineer, where is his engineer? Here it is right now. Oh my god, I thought he was going to take that Tiberium Spike, but yeah, he could grab the power plant, which is probably a smart bet, honestly. It's at least forced to sell off on it. Is BikeRush going to see it though? He is moving his army into position. I don't think he's aware of it though. So this is going to definitely damage BikeRush. Oh, he's actually sending an APC deliberately over there. So I guess he is well aware of the engineer. And yeah, nice awareness by BikeRush. And another harvester does get sniped now for techniques. So yeah, interesting game. I think BikeRush will, though, be able to hold this back for the moment. Technique has not yet disposed of the orcas. In fact, yes, he has. So there's only one orca here, but it will die because it is running out of ammo. And by the way, if you didn't know, orcas only take damage when they run out of ammo and have no airfield to land on. If they have an airfield to land on and have no ammo, then yeah, they won't take damage. But it's only when they don't have an airfield and it gets destroyed. I guess you can avoid your orcas trying to return to base just by powering off the airfield. I'm not sure if that would actually make the orca not take damage. There's a few interactions in this game that I don't quite understand. Anyway, Bike Buggy out in the field yet for technique. He's actually recovered and got 3 harvesters out. BikeRush right now. Is he going to go for an MCV? I guess technique knows that now his chance is to strike. 2 Tyrone spikes for technique, by the way. That is one thing. Going for technique, though both sides are severely limited by the fact that they can only go for 1 war factory right now. That tower was disposed of with the Black Hand squad. And yeah, technique has more units, it seems like right now. There's 5 bikes out in the field. If BikeRush loses a harvester to these bikes, then he will be in trouble. Though he does have his MCV out right now. He's going for rockets, or trying to, I imagine, right now. There's the bikes. Is he going to see these? Yes, he is. Oh, no, that was an engineer. This could be 1 dead harvester right now. Meanwhile, what is he doing? He's moving back his army. I don't think he was expecting this. And this is definitely 1 dead harvester for BikeRush owns. And even going to escape scot-free, though. He probably will get intercepted now by these pitbulls. But no, they're actually going to get sandwiched in between the Scorpion tanks and the buggies. And this could be GG for BikeRush because he made that MCV. Technique knows now that his is time to strike. He's going for Scorpion tanks. He's not rallying them over to BikeRush's base though. But I think that could be all that is necessary for Technique. He does have a couple of Scorpion tanks, but you know what? He has a Predator tank to contend with. There is bikes though, which is the primary source of damage right now. And Harvest is stacking up for BikeRush. Is BikeRush going to hold this back? This is going to be so close right now. 1 harvester here, 1 low HP. Heroic buggy on the field. That certainly can only mean bad news for BikeRush. And yeah, you could send that buggy in just to dispose of units such as pitbulls and APCs. That is never going to die in a million years if you micro it properly. And that is substantial damage. Technique got the damage done that he needed, and he's going to go for that MCV right now. He can definitely push his advantage, go for that MCV right now. BikeRush has to rebuild harvesters, so now's Technique's chance to recover and go for a Hand of Nod, build a bunch of infantry, upgrade them with Disciples. That's what I do in this situation. But no, he's actually going to move in with his Scorpion tanks. Does he have any ranks on them? He actually does have a Heroic buggy, so bear that in mind right now. Infantry definitely not going to be posing a threat here at all. He actually is targeting down harvesters though. I don't think it really matters. In fact, yeah, it does. This micro does matter a lot here because he does have 5 Predator tanks. That buggy, those Scorpion tanks probably should have gone out there a long time ago. Anyway, I expect an MCV to be built right now. It is the ideal time to rebuild one because, as I said before, BikeRush, he is in a world of pain. He needs to rebuild those harvesters. This will give Technique some breathing room to get his MCV out. And what I do right now is I'd sell my War Factory and go for infantry. Without AP ammo, it's going to be damn near impossible to try and stop infantry of Black Hand. There's an APC here, Engineer, but that Black Hand squad, Cabal squad, which just did fire on it, is going to alert Technique because it will tell him that there is an APC there because of the beacon, the battle marker, and it will get sniped, that APC Engineer. Not only that, but Technique saw the APC Engineer long ago when he went for the bikes and got that harvester kill. But yeah, Technique gonna aim down the Scorpion tank, Predator tank here. That's gonna fall. And I can see BikeRush losing this game, certainly right now, because he's on 2 harvesters. He's gonna call the GG. Well, at least he's not like Unleashed, where he just stays in the game forever. And wow, BikeRush is down 2-0 versus Technique in this Ladder Wars. Can BikeRush make a comeback? Or is Technique going to run away with it and take another game? Remember, this is a best of 5, so This is actually match point here for Technique if he wins the next game. So yeah, stay tuned because the next game's coming up right now. BikeRush versus Technique. Alright guys, game number 3, which brings us onto the map Tournament Rift. And BikeRush, he has 1 game to lose right now. But let's see if he can try and get back into this series. He's going to be picking this map, which is going to be, again, Tournament Rift. And over here on the left-hand side, we can see BikeRush Owens, who is sticking with a GDI faction once again. So perhaps not confident in Blackhand Mirrors, which Technique is most certainly adept in. And has proven in the past that he is a very good Blackhand Mirror player, probably if the best player in the game when it comes to Blackhand Mirrors. Anyway, he is over here, unsurprisingly, as the Blackhand. I mean, it's working for him. So if it's not broken, then why fix it? He's going to go with the Blackhand. Not going for a Shrine upgrade. I definitely go for the... If you're versus GDI, and you know you're versus GDI, and the map is Tournament Rift, why would you not go for the Disciple upgrade? That makes no sense. I guess maybe he feels that BikeRush could go for a Sniper Team opening, which is somewhat of a thing that he could do. He could gamble on the Sniper opening working if Technique goes for the Disciples. So there is certainly mind games involved in this. There certainly is with players on Technique and BikeRush's caliber. There is a reasoning for Technique not going for an engineer here. I guess he thinks that there could be snipers. That's what happens in these pro games. You get all these kind of weird decisions that look kind of unoptimal on the surface, but they have a lot of reasoning behind them. And that's a really weird War Factory placement. Usually it's nearer to the Tiberium field, but I guess it doesn't matter. Your refinery placements are what matters more, and I have literally the worst refinery placements ever, as my comments section keeps telling me. And Raider Buggy here, I guess maybe BikeRush thought, Technique thought there was 2 engineers, but there isn't. Usually if I sent a buggy down here and there's no second engineer, I'd quickly check to see if there's any like hiding, because often engineers come running towards the corner of the map. But I guess Technique knows that there's only 1 engineer there. Technique going for a bunch of bikes right now. This is really weird. Did BikeRush actually get a scout into Technique's base and scout this? This is a lot of bikes that he's making, and it's not even an all-in. But he looks like he's continuing to build those bikes. I think it might make BikeRush think that it is an all-in. He's going for harvesters right now. He's only on 3 harvesters, 4 harvesters. He's so greedy. And is he going to stop this? I think it's too late. The reaction time that he done, though. Harvesters with their chain guns do moderate damage. If we bring up the health bars right now, we can see that the bikes are taking losses so quickly. Remember, they are super fragile. He gets 1 harvester, which is desperately needed. Because if you go for that many bikes and you kill no harvesters, that's just damn near impossible to recover when your opponent's cruising on 4 to 5 harvesters. But yeah, he's wasting volleys on units. I'm not sure if he has them on hold fire. If you're microing bikes to kill harvesters, your best bet is to have them on hold fire so they don't shoot random units such as rifles, as they did there. And yeah, I don't think that worked at all for BikeRush. That is definitely not worth it for Technique, and I think Technique's going to be so far behind this game. But no, he actually did a decent job at recovering on 3 harvesters. I mean, that was so close. If BikeRush had lost another harvester there, he would have been in trouble. But on the flip side, he does have 2 spikes, remember, so this is BikeRush's saving grace. He does have 2 spikes and a nice economy advantage. This will definitely give him confidence in this game to supposed to win it. I mean, not supposed, but I guess hopefully he should win it, because it is 2 down in Technique's favor right now. And that is something that BikeRush has to contend with. By the way, BikeRush, there is a $10 cash prize in this Ladder War event, so the winner does take $10. So these guys are playing for that, and it is on R12. R12 because CGF has not approved of R13 to be hosted on game replays, so game replays are not allowed to have R13 as their hosted events, which is unfortunate. It would be nice to have everyone cooperate, but unfortunately it's not looking like it ever will. And these infantry getting torn up here right now. What is BikeRush doing? He's going for an airfield. I guess maybe he feels that Technique could be going for infantry now, which he certainly is. I guess BikeRush had scouted this a long time ago. He just used the radar scan. He's going for the AP ammo. He's actually halfway done on the AP ammo and spamming up those hammerheads right now. He's not even getting an extra harvester out on this third refinery to get that ideal 2-on-1 ratio on his refineries. But yeah, Technique, he's doing some sort of YOLO build right now. He knows that it's near impossible to come back from only killing one harvester with such a commitment early on with that many bikes. But he's going to be moving across the map with these infantry. I'm going to take a guess here and assume that BikeRush will have more than enough to stop it by the time those get to his base. And yeah, selling off a power plant here. It is worth it to sell power plants off for cabals, because remember, training them from the barracks costs 400. If you sell a barracks or a pan of nod, it's actually $250 for a cabal squad. Granted, they're not the full cabal squad now, but they still get the disciple upgrade, which makes it more than worth it in the long run. And there's no flame tanks or anything. There's no mantis. I guess if he had mantis, he could do something. But yeah, this is somewhat of an all-in build here for Technique. He has no way of recovering. In fact, he should have just gone all-in if he was going for this, because if it fails, what are you going to do? You're going to lose the game anyway, so you might as well sell your MCV if you're going to decide to do this sort of build. And I'd imagine Technique's going to throw in the towel right now, which he is. And that build didn't work out for Technique, for BikeRush in that game. For Technique, sorry, getting mixed up with the names. But yeah, BikeRush not really succeeding with GDI, but that time he did win the game. But I felt if Technique played normal, he probably would have gotten the best of BikeRush there, to be honest, because BikeRush didn't scout the bikes coming to his base. He only reacted when he saw the bikes coming to him, and he was on 4 harvesters then. He was actually working on his 5th harvester, which is really greedy, and I think that's really bad in my opinion. So yeah, next game he needs to really up his game versus Technique if he wants to stand a chance of winning this series. But yeah, so far he's still in it. It's 2-1 in favor of Technique still. So yeah, BikeRush still on match point. He's done it before versus Technique. He's came back from all odds. Can he do it again? So yeah, stay tuned, because the next game we're going to find out. Alright guys, Massleaf here, back to do another game of this best of 5 series between BikeRush Owns and Technique. And the map brings us onto Tournament Arena. So without further ado, let's get into this, shall we? On the top left hand side here, we can see playing as a GDI once again. So BikeRush sticking with the GDIs. He's not going Black Hand. I guess he feels that he is better with GDI versus Black Hand, which he probably is, because he doesn't do too well versus Technique's Black Hand with Black Hand. He goes for tech and infantry, which is kind of not how you're supposed to play mirrors versus Scorpion tanks and such. So yeah, Technique down here, unsurprisingly, once again, going to be Black Hand. And it is his map pick because he lost the last game, and Tournament Arena, this is his best map by far. Anyway, he's going to be down here, going for, I'd say, a normal build in this game. If I were him, I would play it cool, not make any foolish mistakes, because remember, if he loses this game, it's going to be match point for BikeRush, and that will give BikeRush a world of confidence to win the next game. So this will definitely put Technique at a moral disadvantage if he loses this game. So yeah, let's see what Technique's going to do right now. Is he going for a rush? He's going for a rush. Wow, that definitely is a rush, because look at the War Factory placement. It's going to be hard to stop. Rifle squad. One thing I would do if I'm Technique is I would make a shredder turret here, just so I could intercept a scout that's here or here. But yeah, what does BikeRush have as far as scouts and eyes in the map right now? Did he only make 1 or 2 rifles? He did, and there is one rifle squad coming down here right now. Is he going for a Reckoner though, Technique? Can't see his field of view or fog of war. One flame tank is out now for Technique. Is he just going to sell off that tier 2? BikeRush sees the tier 2. He's actually deliberately firing on it right now. I'm not sure if that was a good idea though, because if you do that, you're intentionally letting your opponent know that I can see that building. So yeah, Technique's not going to make any flame tanks now, is he? But no, he's actually continuing to make them. Not opting to go for the Reckoner last for the backhand squad. I'd definitely do that though, because yeah, a single Reckoner when it's deployed is so hard to remove, and it can divert attention away from the flame tanks, because usually people chase Reckoners down first because of their speed being so much more than flame tanks. But yeah, Technique wants to get this game out of the way. He wants to do a quick transition to infantry with disciples, going for that tier 1.5, I can imagine right now, for the disciple upgrade. One thing that's curious to me is that flame tanks weren't sent in immediately. But that's kind of smart for Technique, because look, BikeRush made these pitbulls hoping to catch the flame tanks, but the flame tanks were not sent in. In fact, he's going to send them in with the infantry. I guess he does have somewhat of a pseudo infantry upgrade in the fact that he has a full Cabal squad there, which, you know, if you upgrade 6 basic infantry unit squads with Black Disciples, that is more or less the same as far as total hit points of that army goes. And yeah, the flame tanks here just standing by. This is a really smart play for Technique though. He's on 3 harvesters right now. He's sending in the flame tanks. There is a wall of watchtowers right now, but you know what? With these flame tanks, you should be able to just make a path here to try and kill these watchtowers. In fact, he should have just suicided in the flame tank to try and kill these watchtowers, and especially these 2 here, which could definitely be targeted if he shoots between the towers. He only has a handful of watchtowers here. He needs to be focusing on the flame tank. BikeRush needs to manually order his towers to shoot that down. Then he has free reign on the infantry. But no, the flame tank is getting into his base, and that is going to be game, I think. How is BikeRush going to come back from this? I don't think there is a chance in hell that he can. And the flame tank is going to go down, but look at all this, man. He has the infantry. Technique, he isn't all in. I think, yeah, he is definitely all in right now. And as a GG, I can only imagine right now. Maybe BikeRush should send his harvester into crush, which he's doing right now. Quick reaction time from BikeRush to do that. And Technique, he's going to get filed in for a crush here. And yeah, there's just more than enough infantry to hold this back. He's desperately trying to sell off the buildings, as I mentioned in that first game, to get that rifleman squad, because if he didn't get the rifle squad, 4 watchtowers here. And I don't think that the MCV will be destroyed. If he can destroy the MCV, it'll certainly be worth it. But if he doesn't destroy it, though, that is going to be a massive deal, though, because he's not going to have the infantry required to finish the game. And is he going to sell? Is he going to get this MCV, though? My God, that was so close. That was so close right there. If he managed to destroy that, or not destroy that, that would have been game, I reckon, for Technique. But look at the eco situation for Technique. Even if he did save the MCV, he would still be spamming out infantry, which is more than capable of ending the game, even in the worst case scenario of that attack. And yeah, I can imagine BikeRush here with just riflemen, no AP ammo. Yeah, it's certainly over this game right now. He only has 1 single harvester left. He probably should have tried to suicide in them all in that engagement to save his MCV, but yeah, even then he would have been completely starved out of Tiberium because of Technique controlling the map with infantry. He would just sit here and spam infantry all day and completely starve BikeRush out of the Tiberium field on this expansion. And yeah, it's only a matter of time now before BikeRush calls the GG. So yeah, I'm very much surprised by this series. I thought that BikeRush would have put up more of a fight in this series, but yeah, I guess Technique knew exactly what to do. And BikeRush, I guess we haven't seen him play judo too often versus Black Hand. He gets a lot of practice nowadays, but against opposition such as, you know, Baguio and a few others, I doubt that he gets the practice that he really needs to beat players on Technique's caliber. Technique gets practice, but he gets it versus good players. And I think that's the difference between him and BikeRush right now. He plays less games than BikeRush, but BikeRush doesn't get the practice that he really needs to do well versus players like Technique in this environment. But with all that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this very short best of 5 series between Technique and BikeRush. It's always short with these guys because they often cheese each other to death. That is how it goes in Kane's Wrath. But yeah, this is Must Leave. Stay tuned because I'm going to be bringing more first-person videos. I did get my webcam back. The lighting in this one might be a bit intense because, yeah, I rely on natural lighting in my videos because I have no stage lights or anything. I'm not rich, so I can't buy myself professional lighting, you know, for recording. It's not necessary. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. With all that said, this is Master Leaf. Peace out.